Hey, how's it going, everybody? Spencer Presley back here for another video. So, I haven't done a video in a while, and I wanted to do a collection update. And for whatever reason, I decided let's make a very long, very, kind of all over the place collection update. Not about the Vita or Steelbooks, exactly. This one is going to be all about Limited Run, which hopefully all popped up. I was going to wear that hoodie, because I really love that hoodie, but it's finally getting hot here in Kansas, and no, I can't do that. So yeah, today's Friday the 13th when I'm recording this, and basically what I wanted to do in this video was go through my entire Limited Run games collection that I have. This is running from all the PS4 games, all the Vita games, the 2 PC games they did, all the collector's editions, covers, postcards, stickers, anything at all that I have that's Limited Run, I will show you. And hopefully not in too much detail, but just to kind of show it off, because I know, basically I'm really dumb and I like to see what people post about Limited Run on YouTube, and there's not actually that much outside of, like, you'll get occasional news and you'll get unboxing videos, but like when you'll see like, oh, here's my Limited Run collection, I think in my head, no one's really had one near my size. And I swear I'm not trying to sound like I have like a huge like e-penis. I basically am just like, if you see this video and you actually have as much or more than me, I would love to know, because most people I talk about Limited Run with, they're like, no, I only do physical PS4 or Vita or some stuff every now and then. Not a huge deal. To each their own. So, to start this video, if you guys do not know, Limited Run is a company. Here's their logo again, if you want to see. Limited Run is a company in North Carolina, started by Josh and Doug. And basically, they make digital-only games, physical, blah, 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 blah. I've talked about them a ton of times, and there are a lot of other competitors and people who do that kind of stuff now. But in my opinion, they are not only the first who really did it in a regular manner, but the best on the market, in my opinion. So we're going to start off by going through PS4 stuff. We're going to do PS4, Vita, and then last but not least is just kind of everything else that doesn't really have a miscellaneous category. So, first and not least, we have Saturday Morning RPG. And, oh, it's my screen. I was like, what's reflecting on it? So, we have Saturday Morning RPG. This one, actually, no. If I did dates and numbers for all of them, we'd be here all day, because they have over 100 games. But yeah, this one's actually the first order I did through their website, as a fun little note. Really, really great game. Coming out soon on the Switch. I think at the end of April, it's going to be coming out there. Next up, I have Oddworld New and Tasty on PS4. Very cool because it has the DLC on it. Actually, just recently beat the Alph's Escape DLC. Wow, that's fucking really hard. Futuridium EP Deluxe, right? Yep, EP Deluxe. Love this because when you get to the Vita stuff, you'll notice in the beginning they tried having different covers for the Vita and PS4 stuff. I really liked that. Most people were like, oh, I hate different covers. Yeah, as this goes on, you'll see that if there's a different cover, I not only like it, but have to have it. Oh, important to note, because I feel like it gets forgot about a lot. Saturday Morning RPG actually had a manual. Like, it's a really cool manual. It's not amazing, but like it goes through, has character stuff, like really good attention to detail. And I only say like not amazing in terms of like they've done better manuals down the line. So by comparison, it's like it's better than most games you'll get, but through what else they've done, it's not too incredible. Next up, Zeo Drifter. Really cool game by the guys over at Renegade Kid, which I guess are now a TUI. This one also has a manual. Really cool. Then we have good old Octodad. Dadliest Catch. Great game. That one, yes, this one has a manual. PS Vita version does not. Which I think a few games are kind of like that, but there's many reasons. Next up, we have one that doesn't get talked about a lot, Lost Sea. It's their first game that East Asia Soft did with Limited Run, and East Asia Soft now works with, I guess, themselves, and then they use PlayAsia as a distribution partner. Manual in this one as well. East Asia Soft, very famous for doing manuals. They do some good manuals. Even if it's a game that's like, they'll just throw in some concept art, very cool. Next up, we have Breach and Clear Deadline, which I'm trying to think. Yeah, Breach and Clear. It's really tiny in there. You can barely see it. But yeah, Breach and Clear Deadline. Another kind of very underrated game. Surprisingly, it's a Mighty Rabbit game. Did not get a manual. I always think it does, because it's like, oh, Mighty Rabbit always wants to do manuals. Alright, next we have Rainbow Moon, the first physical release of this. Very awesome and underplayed RPG. Cool thing about this one actually has both the PS4 and Vita have an exclusive trophy list that the PSN version does not. Another really good instruction manual on that one. Nice simple cover. When we get to the Vita one, that one's my favorite out of the two. Shadow Complex Remastered by Chair and Epic. Really, really cool one. I think this was like one of the first limited run games that like was like, whoa, shit, they got an Epic game. Like, that was a big deal. Like, until then, it was kind of like Oddworld had a big deal. Like, Oddworld's always a thing that if you're an Oddworld fan, you think it's like one of the best series of all time and everyone knows about it. But then you only realize, oh, it's only the best, but not as many people know about it. Next up is one that I championed, like, when I first met, or I guess talked to Douglas, I was like, you have to get Dragon Fantasy. And I don't know if he knew it at the time, because I remember he was either being coy with me when I interviewed him, but he was like, oh, I've never heard of it. But I was like, no, you gotta. I like to think that after that interview I did in January, then like 6 or 9 months later, they ended up putting this out. So, Dragon Fantasy 2, which is technically called The Black Tome of Ice. Really, really great RPG. And the first one, well, I guess the remake of the first one is planning on coming eventually, but it's just taken a really long time. Because Muteki is a very tiny studio, and most of the guys work over at Choice Provisions anyway. One Way Heroics, well, I guess technically Mystery Chronicles One Way Heroics. This one's cool because this was their first game they did with Spike Chunsoft, and that was a really big deal for them to kind of get out in their first year, or I guess calendar year, of working with a big Japanese publisher like that. And next up we have Thomas Was Alone. Really great manual, very minimalistic, not even going to really show you. As you can see on the back, nothing, so there's that. Two crazy big releases. We have Shantae. Shantae Risky's Revenge, Director's Cut. And this one has no manual, but you can kind of see in the background there is a reverse cover. Both of these have reverse covers. The other Shantae game, The Pirate's Curse, right here, had super big print runs and sold out really fast. I was very surprised. I'd always known about Shantae, but these were actually the first games I bought of them. Next up, we have Stealth Inc. Ultimate Edition. Cool cover. Very fun little puzzle platformer. Big, big, big favorite of mine. Awesome game. Lone Survivor Director's Cut. Firewatch. Super fast seller when that game came out. Great cover. And fun thing about the inside, there's no manual. It's actually a fold-out poster on one side of the whole map, and then the other side is like some fun facts that you find around the park. And next up, we have our first Tribute Games game, Curses and Chaos. Very simple puzzle beat-em-up kind of game. And next, Aqua Kitty Milk Mine Defenders DX. To make sure that glare does not just totally destroy. Whoop. Another adventure game, and one I'd never heard of till I bought this, but is such a great game, is Oxenfree. Really, really cool cover. And cool game. I really got to beat that one of these times. The Swapper is another really cool game by Curve. You'll notice a lot of these next couple games are all going to be Curve games. There's a while where like almost every game or run was having like a Curve game come out. I really didn't mind because Curve Digital, I think, was a really great publisher. I guess actually still is a really great publisher. We have The Swindle. And next up, we're going to mention this two at once. We have 2 copies of Dear Esther. Why 2 copies? Because this was the original copy that came out. All these spines are always released with a number on the back. That's part of the collection. And then your system number. So LRP 23 is what it was supposed to be. The original release came out, got my copy, and I was like, huh, that's weird, my copy's missing. And then I tweeted at Limited Runs and said, hey guys, where's the 3? And then found out it was actually a error on all the copies. And so then replacement covers were sent out, and they sent out, if you made a request ticket, to have the updated one with the 3 on it. So it was an error on Sony's end, but they were not very happy about that. And they were also not very happy about me pointing it out. But it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm sure everyone's tweeted about this. And then I tweeted it, and we were like, oh, no one had noticed. Next up, we have our first cover variant, at least that I've gone through, in terms of that's a convention exclusive. Bit Trip presents Runner 2. Awesome, awesome game by Choice Provisions as well. And then we have the PAX East limited edition cover. This one was, I think, no, PSX was technically their first convention cover. That was with Oddworld, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, awesome little runner. Cannot wait for Runner 3. Next up, another curve game, Nova 111. Super cool game by Funkatronic Labs. Some of the Pixel Junk team basically went off and made this. You can kind of tell by the aesthetics. It's a roguelike mixed with like kind of some puzzles and stuff. It's all about like, actually no, it's more of like it's like a puzzle roguelike. It's kind of a weird genre. Pang Adventures, really, really cool if you've ever played any of the Buster Bro games. I always forget what their original name was, but the graphics on it are really, really nice. Has an awesome manual that like goes through. It just kind of goes through all the weapons, and it's one of those like classic manuals of like it goes through all the stuff you'd want, but none of like the extra fluff. And next up we have Darius Burst CS Chronicle Survivors. Chronicle Survivors, multiple words. This one was a crazy release. I remember when they had hyped this up, it was like, oh my god, I think it was like they had like 4,800 copies on sale. Everyone was losing their mind for that one, but that's a great shmup. Next up is one I'll have to say the name of Mitsurugi Kamui Hikai. And this is basically just like a Japanese indie game by Playism. Well, Playism is the publisher. The developer, don't actually remember the name of. It's kind of hard to like read, but there's signals right there. This is like a 3D beat 'em up brawler, like those arena ones, kind of like the Serenade Kagura games. And next we have another Playism game, Astro Breed. This one is really, really cool. It's a kind of like a Zone of the Enders style shmup. So it's like on rails, but you kind of have Zone of the Ender like mechs moving all around. And next we have another Choice Provision game, Drive. Really, I think actually, this might be the only racing game they've done. It's very interesting. I highly recommend checking out if you get a chance. It's not what you would think. Actually, no, there is another racing game coming down the line. It was just, there's not a lot of driving games, so it kind of stands out in terms of the collection. And I will say, a little side note, I really appreciate that Limited Run does such a good job of not shoehorning themselves into one genre. They don't only do RPGs, and they don't only do shmups. It's like they do a lot of everything. Mutant Mudds Deluxe, another game by Renegade Kid / Atui now, I guess. But we have Mutant Mudds Deluxe, and then the improved and harder sequel, Mutant Mudds Super Challenge. Awesome, awesome games. Very fun. Bummed no manual on those, but what are you going to do? Next, we have Risk of Rain. Super fun roguelike and really good local multiplayer. And great soundtrack. Like, really, really good. Alright, talk about great soundtracks. Flint Hook, the other Tribute Games game that we have so far. Really, really fun game. I feel like not enough people talked about it. They are doing a Switch version soon, so hopefully more people kind of find an audience for that, but this game was really, really great. And other games I'm going to compliment furiously. We have Broken Age. And fun fact about this is their first, am I right? Yes, this was Limited Run Games' first slipcover they ever did. And so it looks really nice. You know, you got not as bad of a reflection as everything else. Still has the spine and everything. But if you notice, if it will, see if we can get it to focus. There we go. So his Limited Run P35, the reason the slipcover was made, because they printed all the copies with the wrong number on the original spine, which will be a lot harder to see, but is 34. So it's actually 35, but you need the slipcover to make it not say 34. Just trying to think how to phrase that. This is very weird. Next up, one of the games I wanted the most from Limited Run when they first started was Fury. This one, super fun, has all the DLC, amazing effing soundtrack, great visuals, is just one of the greats. And then next we have Bard's Gold, which, funnily enough, remember this when we were going through the Vita stuff? This might be the worst cover Limited Run games ever put out. They did not actually make this one. Limited Runs will do the cover sometimes. It's a little hard to see this one. But the dev did this, and it's like a zoomed-in version of the Vita cover. You have the top of a lamp getting cut off and just like a door. It could not tell you less about a game, but it's actually funny. It's a good game, just a really terrible PS4 cover. The Vita one's fine because it's zoomed out. I've just never understood the other one. Next up, we have the Bunker. Bunker is a full motion video. I don't know. FMV just made me want to say metal for some reason. An FMV game, which we have another one coming up soon that is a lot more well-known than the Bunker, but Bunker does not get enough love, I think. Also, if you can't tell, there's no Limited Run game that's ever been released that I don't like, including even the ones that people hate on, like Plague Road, as you'll see coming up. Next up, we have, I think, our first double dip in terms of sales that we've seen is Rive. So Rive is a really cool game by two tribes, the guys who did like Tokitori. And then this one actually then later got put out under PlayAsia, and then there was this awkward trend of like, hey, we signed a game, but you put it out somewhere else and you're using the same cover? What's the deal? It's like a whole kerfuffle. Well, it's not actually the same cover, but Rive does not. Rive's a really cool game. Rive doesn't have a lot of art. It's kind of just the one guy chewing and then the gun shooting, but whole other thing. Doesn't matter. Next up, we have Oceanhorn. Basically, if you've never heard of this, it's on anything that can play it for the most part, and it's basically top-down Wind Waker, and really, really, really fun. I think this one might have a manual? No, it does not. The safety booklet. So, speaking of games that Limited Run do that people don't like, that Spencer still surprisingly likes. Plague Road. This is the regular copy that came out, and then the much cooler looking Kickstarter copy. So if you backed the game on Kickstarter, that was the only way to get this, as well as blind boxes through the New Year sale earlier in 2018, but it doesn't really count. In terms of buying it and knowing what you're getting, this was a Kickstarter exclusive. I think both the Vita and PS4 one are like under 700 each. I always forget the number exactly. Funnily enough, very boring back. That's just kind of what the back is. Also, actually, I didn't comment on this when we got to my cover for Bit Trip, but I am not a sealed collector, as you can see by most of these games being open. But if I have like a variant that's rarer, there's no real reason for me to open it, so I just kind of keep it sealed. But you will see that there is a thing that breaks that trend soon. Next up, we have Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap, one of the other games of last year that sold out stupid fast. This might be their best manual they've ever done. At least if I'm not forgetting one, or maybe tied with Skullgirls. This one's great. The reverse cover, you obviously have the original Master System artwork. But even down to the recreation of the Master System manual, it's just godlike. It's the amount of detail that they put into this and the special edition are so crazy. And talking about crazy attention to detail, and games that sold really fast and then are also full motion video, keep wanting to say metal, Night Trap. The first game, at least I think of, not counting Breach and Clear, because I didn't actually know about Limited Run when they first started. This is the first game that I ever actually missed out on. And thankfully, the waiting list, I was able to get a copy of the Collector's Edition. Very lucky, because I remember I was at work when it happened, as most of these sales are. And I'm there, and I clicked it. I had everything. It was... What did they have? On Night Trap, they had the Bunker and Night Trap, but they also had Night Trap PS4 Special Edition, a PC Special Edition, a vinyl, a t-shirt, and I think some other stuff. Oh, and the My Life in Gaming documentary. They had so many SKUs, and they did not have enough in the mega bundle. But yeah, Night Trap. Boy, that was a weird time as a fan. Really cool game. I feel like, other small side tangent, I feel like Night Trap had a ton of hype when it got announced that it was coming out last year. The release happened for the physical version a week before digital, and then there was such a sour taste of people who missed out on the digital version that, on the physical version, that no one bought it digitally. And it's really stupid, because the guy who worked on it, Tyler, did a really great job on the port. Next up, Nerve Voider. Really awesome game I'd never heard of beforehand. It's another like top-down twin-stick RPG roguelike. Great manual for the fact that it is half very useful and half just tells you how to make like pizza and gives you different recipes and just really stupid stuff, but really fun. Next up we have Jotun or Jotun. I've always never really known. Valhalla Edition. Really cool game. I've not put a ton of time into it, but the tiny bits I have played of it, really, really good art. The guys at Thunder Lotus do some awesome work. And next up, we have the one thing that breaks my tradition of, if it's a rarer cover, I don't open it. So we have Lily. This is the standard edition. And then this is the limited edition. The limited edition is obviously in a slipcase. Has a different cover. They are not reversible. People were not happy about that. But the reason I opened it is because the regular copy of Lily does not have this. It is not an instruction manual. It is actually an art book, which is kind of weird, but Limited Run's done that a couple of times. And I wanted to look through the art book, so I figured I have to open up the rare copy, which I'm fine with. The only reason I leave them sealed is like when there's no real reason for me to open them. Alright, but yeah, Lily, really fun game. It was actually a port of a mobile game to consoles, and really, really, really fun. Next up, another slow seller, but a really, really good limited run game. One of my favorites, N++. First off, awesome platformer. Not enough people bought this game. Literally thousands of levels. This game is crazy, crazy value. Has an awesome fold-out poster, which I will not display because that'll be way too much work. And a super thick manual. Like, the guys did such a good job in terms of just, like, going through like the levels. I'm going to show you this upside down because you're not going to read it, but they just put a ton of detail into it, and one of the greats. Top 5 manuals for sure. All right, next up we have As Divine Hearts. Pretty simple RPG. Kemco, it's pretty much you don't love them or hate them. They're just that, like, in the middle, it's a RPG-ass RPG, which is fine. It's a budget price, regular game. I'm happy to have a hard copy of it. It's no problem. And next, speaking of not budget-ass RPGs, is the Ys games. We have Ys Origins. This one is one of the dual covers. It's on the inside, but the Vita version you'll see is what the other one looks like. Great action RPG. Actually, I'm trying to think. It's the first Ys games I actually played. I've owned Oath of Falgana on Vita forever, but this was the first one I played. This was the PAX West, PAX West cover they made and sold, and I really, really like this, although I will say, a little similar looking. So, I'm trying to think. Funny story, when I was getting this sent to me, I had another copy of this sent, and I messaged them, and I was like, hey guys, I think you guys sent me the wrong cover. I was supposed to get the PAX West cover. And it's like, oh, what do you mean? Take a picture of it. It's like, oh, it's the one with the tower. It's like, no, 2 of them have the tower. The one with no people is the PAX cover, but I appreciate I appreciate this just because a lot of their PAX covers they've done, if it's a game with a collector's edition, they try and make the collector's edition box art on the regular one, which makes sense to me. Alright, and last but not least, another convention exclusive cover that actually wasn't ever at a convention. I think they ran out of conventions to bring it to. Flame in the Flood. This is the regular copy. This is the convention copy. Pretty similar. The backs are completely the same. Really, really great survival game. And trying to think if there's anything else I was going to say about that. Oh, yes! These are the last games that... Wait! Just kidding. We have one more game. I was going to be like, this is the last game without an ESRB logo. No, we have one more. At least for PS4. Cladarius Blaze, or Cladarius, I probably blew it. Really, really cool game. It is a shmup, but is really, really cool. Great for co-op. I love like playing through like the arcade mode with my buddies. And this one's really interesting. This was a double booklet included. One has, what was this? This is the art book, and then we have a manual as well with it. So not many times do you see something with 2 manual spots like kind of used. So it's a really nice beefy package. And also the last cover with that ESRB logo for PS4, not counting Skullgirls, because Skullgirls is weird and has a dumb history. Alright, so next up we have ESRB games, starting with Absolute Drive Zen Edition. One of the more hated limited run games, only for the fact that it's hard. It's really hard, but this game is like, once you get it, you get it. It's very unforgiving, but is super, super fun, and has a great soundtrack. And next, we have Chariot, which actually I just finally started getting into. Chariot is a great couch co-op game that I think it's been like everywhere for like either it was PS Plus, I'm 90% sure at one point, and I know it like launched as an Xbox Gold. I think it's just about to come to Switch. So yeah, if you like co-op games and platformers, Chariot is a definite. That's a really one that I've been biting myself on the ass for like having not started playing sooner. And next we have Mecho's Tales. Another arcade distillery maker of Plague Road, so not the most loved developer, but actually I like this one a lot. It's a twin-stick shooter platformer, and it's a very interesting game. Very short, but really, really cool art style. So we have 2 copies. We're not going to get into the semantics or my opinions of this. I did not mind this, but this was the standard copy, and then the slipcover is the developer copy, which basically meant it was more money, there were fewer copies made, and it was basically just like, hey, if you want to buy this one, you'll get a different cover, a slipcase, an extra card, I think, and you're just supporting the developer by paying them like an extra $10, which I did not mind. I like the guys at Arcade Distillery. I know their games are not for everybody, but opinions are opinions. Next up, another game, Crawl. I'd never heard of this before. Really fun local co-op. No, not co-op. It's like, it's a roguelike, but a competitive roguelike where if you're playing with 3 people, like, you're all trying to become a human, and if you're not a human, you're just trying to kill whoever is a human. It's very... I think it's hard to describe, but once you do the tutorial, you have that moment. Next up, our first triple cover variant. We have Nex Machina, all 3 versions. The Standard Edition, which somehow had the coolest cover. It doesn't actually happen very often. The Collector's Edition cover, so if you bought the Collector's Edition, this is what you get for the cover. And then the PSX 2017 cover, which is the Collector's Edition cover, but on a box. Really, really awesome game, awesome soundtrack, awesome Collector's Edition. God, I'm so sad that Housemarque don't make more games like that. Speaking of games that they just don't make anymore, we have Windjammers and Windjammers Collector's Edition cover that you had to buy the Collector's Edition to get. Another one that not everyone was super happy about. Windjammers, if you've never played it, it is, think Pong mixed with Ultimate Frisbee, I guess? It's kind of hard to describe, but it's a really, really fun game to play, and they did a great job on the covers. The redone art was super, super nice. And next up, we have, previously mentioned, Skullgirls Second Encore. So we have a slipcover. Notable, my copy is numbered with a sticker there. Reversible art. You can either have the art look like this or like this. I figured the slipcover already has one art, so just use this one. And without a doubt, the thickest with 2 C's, maybe even 3 C's, manual that limited run games have ever put out. You have director commentary on all the characters, moves for all the characters, thank you notes. It is just a love letter to having supported this game, and it's monumentally long time in terms of pre-ordering it in October 2016 and then getting it in, well, at least for me with the Vita version, in February 2018. Alright. Next, we're almost done with PS4, I promise. Next up, we have Rock Boscher's Director's Cut DX, another Tiki Pod game. Really, really fun if you're a fan of like old ZX Spectrum style games. You can also play like NES if you're not a nerd. And then we also have another horror game, Claire Extended Cut. I just recently started playing this with a buddy of mine. It's very similar in terms of style and gameplay like Lone Survivor, in terms of like it's a horror game. Get that Silent Hill aspect, definitely has some Silent Hill 3 vibes. But while Lone Survivor looks like an NES game, Claire looks more like a Super Nintendo game, if that makes sense. And then next up, we have River City Melee. Awesome cover that they had specially made, along with our next game, is all done by the same artist. I wish I remembered his name. I have not played a ton of River City Melee. It has a single player story, but I've mainly just used it for its multiplayer minigames, which is kind of what it's really for. It's not a real River City game. I shouldn't have even done that. There's so many kinds of different River City games. Like there's the one that everyone thinks of that's a beat 'em up, and if it's not only a beat 'em up, everyone gets on their butt. Speaking of beat 'em ups, though, Double Dragon 4, another controversial game. Have not actually put too much time into this one. That cover, though. That cover almost sells the game even if you don't like it. Awesome beat 'em up. Awesome cover, at least from like the little bits I've played of it, but I can look at that cover all day. Speaking of covers I'm going to look at all day, we have another 3-pack. Because my god, it's getting hot down here. We have 2064 Read-Only Memories. These all have the same amount of print count. There were 3 covers. Our first one's done by the guy who made Valhalla. This one is done by someone at Midboss, whose name I do not remember, and I'm sorry to hear that. And then this one is done by a Japanese author, whose name I'm also forgetting, but did the like Fate House of Morgana game that I know is coming from LRG eventually. It's taking 9 million years to get announced officially, and I always forget the name. But really cool text adventure game, kind of like, not even kinda, it's very Snatcher inspired. Alright, I know I said we're almost done, but we're really almost done. Super Gun World 2. Basically think NES style Mega Man like game, but with a lot of guns, made by one guy. Passion project. It's definitely not a game for everybody, but I at least clearly could tell it was like a love letter to that genre of game, and I liked what it was trying to do. Also, fun fact, one of the few games to have a gun pointed towards the customer, like if you're looking at it like this. The ESRB does not like that. Found that out, so yeah, ESRB, weird rules. Next up, we have Yesterday Origins, another controversial one. This is an adventure game, kind of like those old point and click ones, or at least like, yeah, basically like point and click or like adventure games in that genre. I have not actually gotten to play this yet. I do know people were very salty about this because it has a much cheaper version that was sold for years in Europe, and then LRG just had to get this one out and sign it. I don't mind, because I play them for the games that I would never know about otherwise, and I like the collection. Like, they still haven't put out a game that I'm like, wow, I paid for $25 worth of garbage. Like, all of their games have been super, super solid. Next up, we have the Bit Trip. The PAX cover I don't have yet. I just ordered it today. Bit Trip is 6 games of the original Bit Trip series from the WiiWare days. Really, really, really great. I think this one is a manual, if I'm not crazy. No, it just has it's a pamphlet, but it has like some words about each game on the back. Not in a descriptive way, kind of like in a very zinny way. Next up, we have Screen Cheat. Screen Cheat is a local multiplayer-only first-person shooter where you are all invisible and have to find with the other person on the map, and it is really, really fun. And if you can get 4 people to play this locally, it is a huge blast. More local multiplayer games on disc, please. Next up, we have Skyforce Anniversary. Is a shmup that was a port of a iOS game. I'd never heard of this before in my life. I popped into my Vita when I got it a couple of weeks ago and could not stop playing it. It was super addictive. the loop of playing, getting stars, upgrading your weapons was so good. Skyforce Anniversary, I highly recommend. And then our last two, we have Kreuzler Sigma, which I definitely probably ruined the pronunciation on. It is another 3D arena beat 'em up kind of like game, and really cool soundtrack, and fun little weird fact, I found it actually has multiplayer, but it doesn't, it's weird. It's one of those games that has multiplayer, but you have to like really dig for it. And last but not least, for PS4, the most popular limited run game of all time, Massive Sarcasm, Lawbreakers, still sealed. Why? I have a digital copy. There's really no reason to open this now. Will this ever be rare? No. Did I buy it to be rare? No, I just wanted to support limited run and Boss Key. Is it part of the collection? No, but yeah, it's just one of these, just one of those things that I really enjoyed, and when people were playing it, I liked Lawbreakers, but obviously no one's really playing it anymore. Wow, that was 35 minutes, and we're just on to the PS4 stuff. This is going to be a really fun video to upload. Next up, let me go get the Vita stuff. All right, part 2 on our magical adventure of games. I'm going to try and go a little faster, because God only knows how long uploading this video is going to take me. We're going to be starting next with Breach and Clear for the Vita collection. This is a notable release, because it's the first. It's easily the most expensive, at least I can think of. Copies usually range from around $200 to $250 right now for a sealed copy. I lucked out. I remember I bought this maybe May or April of 2016, and copies were like $70, and I don't think I'd ever thought of really buying it. I was like, I know that this is gonna fucking eat me up inside if I don't buy this copy, because it's just like, just do it. You're like, in my head, I think I was worried that limited run wouldn't stay around that long, or not sure how devoted to them I really would be. And then now seeing how the price has risen for this game, yeah, it makes me very happy. And on top of the fact that it's a really good game, I've actually been playing it a lot recently, trying to finally beat it. Well, beat it. It's like a mission structure game. It's a military tactical top-down game. Really fun. Surprisingly addictive. It's like, I've always known it was really popular as like an app, but actually giving it a shot now and playing it myself, it's very good. And sad that it took so long to get popular or well-known on Vita, and now it got popular for the wrong reason of like, oh, it's rare. No one really talks about the game. Next up, Saturday Morning RPG. We talked about that as well. Notable, they couldn't do a manual because they hadn't made a template in time, but they had a little pamphlet, so there's that. We now have Oddworld New and Tasty on Vita. No DLC on this one. They never made the DLC on Vita, but still awesome that they made the Vita version at all. Futuridium EP Deluxe, different cover. Zeo Drifter again, notable because it's their first Vita manual. They made the template by themselves and everything. It was really cool. Very proud of them. We're not the first North American publisher to do a real manual. I think that honor still goes to Disney Infinity 2, which no one ever talks about that manual because it's legalese, the manual, but still it's like, whoa, it's like over 50 pages. Octodad, no manual as well, but really awesome port. The first, oh my god, why did this sell out so fast game that, I think chronologically is, Soldner X2. Another one with a sweet manual by East Asia Soft, and an exclusive trophy list on it. Great shoot 'em up. In case you guys haven't told, if I hadn't talked about it before, like if it's a game I talked about on PS4, I'll just show it to you, move it along. If it's a new one, then I'll describe it really quickly. Rainbow Moon. Simplest cover that they have. I love it. It goes for that like classic early 90s RPG look. You got the manual as well. I like to pull this one out and notice. I don't think they really thought about it, so instead of the back being blank, it's just literally the last page. It looks kind of, you can tell they definitely were like, alright, cool, so we got like 12 pages. Cool, what's the last page? Is it blank? Oh, fuck. But not a big deal. It's still a great manual. Next up. Only mentioning this because, again, I love Dragon Fantasy, and also this is currently the only way to get the updated version of Dragon Fantasy 2. The download version does not include all of the updates that this one has. So technically, this is the only physical exclusive game where there's no download version. At least, if that makes sense to you. One Way Heroics on Vita. Thomas was alone on Vita with a manual. Thanks, Mike Bethel. Stealth Inc. Different cover. Volume on Vita. Sink it in, boys. That gold etching looks gorgeous. It's even on the coloring on the edge. And an epic manual. Volume on Vita may be, in terms of presentation, up there with like Skullgirls in terms of they really knocked it out of the park. And I know that this really looks so nice because of how much like Mike Bithell really wanted people like to feel like they got out with a good deal when they got this. Next up is our first variants that they ever did. We have Oddworld Stranger's Wrath HD, cover 1. Cover 2, they're technically reversible, but I got a triple pack because it came with the PSX exclusive Stranger's Wrath cover, which is really cool and really hard to see with all this cellophane on, but has a nice note by Lauren Lanning and Sherry McKenna, basically just thanking you for supporting. I love this cover. This artwork for Stranger is so nice, also extremely reflective, so fuck me, apparently. Either way, our next game, Lone Survivor. Awesome Vita port. Curses and Chaos, again. Whoop. We're going to rapid fire this. Aqua Kitty DX. Swapper. Swindle. Whoop. Bit Trip Runner 2. PAX cover. PAX East cover. Nova 111. This one's a really cool one for me. Ray Gigant, otherwise known as Everybody Loves Ray Gigant. This is a experience RPG that never got an English release physically until limited run. It's technically a Bandai Namco published game in Japan, but in America it was published by Actil. I feel like I always mess up their name. Me, partly responsible for helping this game come out. I was introduced to some of the people who helped publish this game digitally, and was good friends with Doug, and basically got them in connections. So I helped Doug speak to the English publisher, which then helped them speak to Bandai Namco, and then after months and months and months and months and months and months, I think honestly, I heard about this game coming out, like the deal got basically started / almost signed around September of 2016, and finally we got copies in April of 2017. But yeah, this one really, really proud to have helped out on. Mutant Mudds Deluxe, Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, whoop. Risk of Rain, Broken Age, no slip cover, kind of stinks. Another awesome one, Demo, cool for multiple reasons. One, helped published by PM Games, or I guess the English release was done by PM Games. Who had planned on doing a physical release of this, could not get the publisher. Basically, they had gone through all the steps of ESRB ratings, was going to have it published by themselves with Actil, and Sega and Atlas were going to distribute. It was a Vita game, like a rhythm game, and they were like, I don't think this will do very good. So they pulled the plug on it. So that's when I said, hey, Michael Yum, CEO of PM Games, go and ask Limited Run. They'd love to do this. They don't have any like rhythm games. Added it. Great release. Sold out super, super fast. Awesome game if you've never played Demo. It's super, super fun. Fun thing about that, though, if you pay for an ESRB logo, you have to use it. And this is even before it was mandated. So what they did is they printed all the copies and then had to include stickers to put over the shrink wrap, which I kept the stickers because that's just really funny and a cool little story. Bard's Gold, the good cover. The not shrinked in cover. So, kind of tell, there's the door, there's the lamp, but like the PS4 cover is this down. It's really weird. I'd love to ask the developer why he thought that was the cover he wanted to go with. Darius Burst CS, fun note, this came out like 2.5 months after the PS4 version because they forgot to ask for it. They were like, oh god, if we ask for the PS Vita version, they'll say no to the whole thing. Ocean Horn, great port. Plague Road, Kickstarter of copy, awesome cover. I'm a sucker for Luke Bernard's art. I really am. As Divine Hearts, a sealed copy and the other cover of Ys Origins. Why is this one sealed? Because I have the Arc System Works English Asian release, which is basically the same game. I was just impatient and wanted to order it, so whatever one came first, I kept it sealed. Fun fact, this is, to my knowledge, the only limited run game where their numbering is in here as opposed to in this area. It's because Sony had started changing it with some of the stuff around fall 2017. They were changing the Vita format, which I thought was really funny because I don't know why you'd make people change the Vita format after so many years, but whatever. Mecha Tales. Mecha Tales Developer Edition actually came with a different slipcover. Still has the same... Oh god, this is a two-hander. So slipcovers on Vita. This is the first one ever made. Ever. There's the actual cover. Fun fact, the only games that have slipcovers for the PlayStation Vita... Also, let me just show you that real quick. Gorgeous cover. So gorgeous. The only games with slipcovers are Mecho's Tales on Vita, Skullgirls on Vita, which you'll see soon, and the East Asia Soft version of Unepic. And next, we have Windjammer Standard with a manual. Did not even know. It's a very small manual. That's a great touch. Danimu, thank you for that. And then also, Windjammer's Collector's Edition cover. We have another cool one. La Mulana EX. Awesome game. Think Spelunky meets 1001 Spikes, but this came before all of those, so I guess really they're all inspired by this. Awesome game. Great soundtrack. Great gameplay. Super hard. Perfect for the Vita. The only physical version of it, I think, in general, because there is a PC port, a Wii port, and then a Vita port, and that's the only version. And also, big ups to Rising Star Games for working with Limited Run and that gorgeous cover. Alright, speaking of gorgeous covers, SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Heist. Only on Vita because every other console got a compilation disc. Well, not every other console. PS4... and Wii U got a compilation disc, and Vita got them separately by Limited Run, which I prefer. I'm not a huge fan of compilations just because I like having them separately. Reverse covers as well. These are the cooler ones in my opinion, so enjoy that as you will. Great games. Rock Boshers. Skullgirls on Vita. Memorable things to encounter. Numbered copy. And... not the thickest, but one of the nicest Vita manuals of all time. The thickest still goes to Summon Night 6. Same manual I showed you last time, but in the Vita. So awesome. I love it. An obnoxiously thick Vita manual, nothing makes me happier. The only thing that can make me happier is if there was a form-fitted Vita Steelbook, which the dream is not dead for that. And our final games are all ones we've already shown, so I'll blow through those. Claire Extended. The Bit Trip with a little pamphlet. Just thought I'd show that because I'm cool that they added that in there. Skyforce Anniversary, highly recommended. And Crixler Sigma. Obviously, there are more limited run games that are out. I'm currently waiting on Factotum. Well, alright, actually, there are like maybe 20 games that I'm still waiting on. So if it's come out through limited run, it's coming to me. They've just been waiting on Sony, who's really slow. So that's all the PS4 games. That's all the Vita games that have been released that I have currently in hand. And so next we're going to go through all the merchandise, whether it be collector's editions, postcards, CDs, vinyls, stuff like that. Wow, this is a really long video. On to part 3. Alright, part 3, which I honestly am not really sure how long this one's going to take. This is the miscellaneous section of my collection, so it's if I have it and haven't shown it to you, or it's from limited run games in some way, shape, or form, then I have it. The only one that I wasn't able to pull out, basically just because it's hidden in a lot of my storage and it was a plushie, I have a Broken Age plushie that's was sold through limited run games, but it's technically a fan gamer item, so it was sold through fan gamer first, so I kind of count that as more of a fan gamer item anyways, but just thought I'd point it out for the one person out there who cares. So I'm surrounded by stuff right now, and I'm just going to go clockwise, because that just makes the most sense to me. First up, I'm actually filming on my second one of these. I have the limited run games rose-colored stand. It can hold a PS4 or a Vita game. Holds them on there. They look really nice, good for displaying. What I do with mine is I have one at the end of my Vita games and one at the end of my PS4 games, and it just is used to like show what the newest game in my collection is from limited run. So Chrysler Sigma's the ones that I have at the end for both of those. And next we have a giant box, which I will not move, of CDs. We have every limited run released CD. We're going to go, I guess, reverse, which makes the most sense in terms of how it's facing me. So limited run will do CDs with limited editions or bundled in with the games on their own. And for the most part, with the exception of Fury and Neurovoider, every one of these CDs, oh, and I guess Darius Burst, every one of these CDs was made beforehand. Sorry, every one of these CDs, besides the 3 I mentioned, were made and printed by limited run. So we have Chrysler Sigma, cute little cover art, Bit Trip, well, I guess the Bit Trip. So every 2 games has 1 disc for their soundtracks. So really, really cool. I liked how they did that one. That one was a super good deal. I don't have it on me, but it's coming soon. I have Momodorum. I actually do have that soundtrack on the way to me. Metronomicon has like a 4-disc set that I cannot wait to see. We have Double Dragon 4. Really, really cool. I probably won't do the back now that I just realized that that might take like a super long time. I'm going to just kind of take out a big chunk at a time because they are really tight in there. There we go. River City Melee. Rockbosher. Whoop. Get another chunk out. La Milana. La Milana again. Each one of those has 2 discs, so it's a 4-disc soundtrack. Whoop. Windjammers. That one was from the collector's edition, and so was a La Milana. Next Machina from the collector's edition. Skullgirls. This was for just ordering the game. And then this one is, let me get the name right. It is by Dan Terminus. It's called The Wrath of the Code. It's a digipack. It is technically the soundtrack to Neurovoider, but it actually originated before the idea of Neurovoider began. So the whole soundtrack was like basically the antithesis of what they wanted Neurovoider to sound like when making it, and so they just put the soundtrack into it. It's a really, really great soundtrack. Alrighty, next up, Wonder Boy, 2-disc on that one. Astro Breed, 2 discs as well. Flint Hook, which, if I'm not mistaken, has a printing error on the opposite side where you can see the Bit Trip CD. Very weird how that happened, but it's kind of funny. Fury, shoutouts to Doug for helping me get this. Darius Burst, this was part of the CE. You can tell it was not made by their normal thing because it has the weird Japanese clear back, which I have never understood. Nova 111. Runner 2. Whoop. Aqua Kitty. Lone Survivor. Stealth Ink. And then these ones are cool. Shantae, Pirate's Curse, Risky's Revenge, and the original Shantae, all on CD for the first time. Those ones were super, super awesome to see them put a CD of. And our last little stack of CDs. Little stack. Thomas Was Alone. Dragon Fantasy Book 2. Shoutouts to Dale North for an awesome soundtrack. Shadow Complex Remastered. Rainbow Moon Melodies, which might be limited run's smallest release they did. In terms of, I think actually that one was already leftovers of what was around, so that one may have also been in there. Breach and Clear Deadline. Soldner X2. This one's really cool. There is a release of Soldner X2 beforehand, but this is the only one with all of the DLC music in it. Futuridium EP. Saturday Morning RPG. Shoutouts to Vince DiCola. Breach and Clear, the original one. This one's technically not limited run, but was sold through them. You can get it off Amazon's like print-on-demand service. It's like 15 bucks. And the Silver Case soundtrack. So that is all their CDs. And let's move this big box now. Very carefully, we don't want to hurt them. Next up, if you don't like CDs, we have vinyls. We have the limited. All of these vinyls are all limited run exclusive colors. I won't take them out. I'll try and remember them to the best of my ability, but this is a collection show off and it's already a long video. We have a 7-inch Night Trap LP. This is the Night Trap theme on one side and the Augur Attack on the other. Really, really cool. Next we have the Stranger's Wrath Volume 2 teaser, but mainly Volume 1 with the exclusive limited run cover. Both discs are different shades of blue. I had to open up this inside because it's so gorgeous. This is probably my favorite vinyl they've ever done. I love the soundtrack to Stranger's Wrath. It's Western twang and like, oh, it's so good though. Next up, the first vinyl limited run ever did. Saturday Morning RPG. It's numbered and everything. What number was I? 355. This one is like kind of a metallic blue, or like I guess 80s-ish blue. Next up, we have Breach and Clear Deadline. This one is a gun red or blood red vinyl. Really, really nice. Really cool, like, atmospheric soundtrack. Sorry, Super Beat Sonic and Death Stranding. You are not from limited run games. We then have Risk of Rain, the limited run variant, which I think is purple for one disc and green for the other. Also another, I mean, spoilers, these are all really good soundtracks. This is an interesting one for many reasons. So, not a limited run released game. This is the Darius original arcade soundtrack on vinyl, released at the same time as Darius Burst. And this release was supposed to be like half red and half blue, kind of spliced in together, and ended up being primarily blue with very light hints of red, and no one really noticed till we got these in hand, and we're like, oh wait, did you give us the blue one? It was a bit of a kerfuffle, and it was such a small print run, it wasn't really worth recalling them all. Next up, we have the Nex Machina limited run games variant. This one is blood splattered like red on one disc and blood splattered like black on the other, I think. Another obviously awesome soundtrack. And yeah, that's my limited run vinyls. So, I can actually move those guys back down and we can start working our way. We're almost done. Next will show off, we have the Octodad tie from the Dad's Father's Edition? I don't actually remember. This was made through Fangamer, but was a limited run exclusive item for a time being. Really, really cool tie. Next up in these boxes, the shipping boxes, I'm gonna say the old, they still use them. We have, I think this one is postcards. We'll do this first. I have a fully up-to-date, not counting Futuridium, Factotum thing. Hold on, let me get this out of the way. Alright, let's see how well I can do here. This is every limited run sticker ever made to my current possession that we're going to do a quick trivia run for. Gold, this was just given away at random. You had to get really lucky to get one. I got one through ordering a shirt. Silver, this was for the silver case. Actually, not a lot of people bought the game. I think it was like 1,500 stickers were made. Lawbreaker sticker for the collector's edition. Christmas, if you bought a blind box on 2016's Black Friday, that's how you got this sticker. This is the exclusive reward ticket sticker. Breach and Clear. Saturday Morning RPG. Oddworld Underprinted is actually really rare, that sticker. Futuridium. Actually, no, that is Futuridium. Yeah, Futuridium EP. Zeo Drifter. Octodad. As you can tell, the colors kind of tell the game. Lost Sea. Solner X2. Breach and Clear. Deadline. Rainbow Moon. Shadow Complex. Dragon Fantasy 2, One Way Heroics, one of my favorite stickers, Thomas Was Alone, Shantae Risky's Revenge, The Pirate's Curse, Stealth Inc., Volume, Stranger's Wrath. I was also blanking on that one. Lone... What? I might have missed a sticker. Oh, it's just in the wrong order. That's fine. Whoop. Firewatch. Lone Survivor. Curse and Chaos. Aqua Kitty. Oxenfree. Swapper. Oh, God. Swindle. Thank you. Another underprinted sticker for Ray Gigant. I think it's like underprinted by like 1,000. Runner 2. Nova 111. Pang's Adventure. Yes. Darius Burst, because the edgy neon color. Mitsurugi game I cannot remember. The one I can never remember the name of. Asterbreed. I don't know why that one was... No, wait, that's not Asterbreed. This one is, What is this one? Oh, no. I forgot one. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, I was doing so good. This is Asterbreed. This is Mutant Muds. Super Challenge. We're getting there. Bard's Gold. Flint Hook. Broken Age, Demo, and Skullgirls. That one's gonna really... I'm gonna see the sticker for it, and it's gonna make me really mad that I didn't remember it. Speaking of Skullgirls, if you ordered a copy, you got these printing, or I guess pencil plates. Really cool design. Do a quick show right there. I have 2 of those for each of my copies. And if you ordered a copy of Oddworld, not the PSX variant, you got a copy of these playing cards that are really, really nice. They have like art in the inside, as well as a map from the game. So that is really cool. And then next, we have the much easier to tell what they're all from, postcards, which I love way more than stickers, because when I collect postcards, no one goes, why don't you use those for what they're meant for? Let's actually move all the stickers. Spencer's gonna see the game and then be like, what fucking sticker was that again? Come on. Too many stickers. There we go. Alrighty, so our first postcard in no particular real order for the beginning batch. We have the PSX 2016 postcard. 50 of these were made at... Wait, actually, yeah, 2016 postcard. These were only made in a test batch. Only about 50 exist. These were never distributed. I got this from Douglas for archival purposes, and I really love this and appreciate it. So a quick look at the back. The silver case. Kill the past. Most of these have nothing on the back, but if they're anything of note, I'll mention it. Lawbreakers. The original Breach and Clear. Nowhere on it. It just says limited run. Saturday Morning RPG. Oddworld New and Tasty. Also underprinted. Very hard to get. Futuridium. It's hard to... If I want to do it the correct way or the way that's just easier for my hand. Zeodrifter. I'll just stop talking to recover my voice. No, then it'll be really quiet. Lost Sea! I was like, oh yeah, that'd be better. Just have it silent for the whole time. Soldner X2. Breach and Clear Deadline. By the way, shoutouts to the checklist. I love and miss the checklist so bad. I would print them out and make posters, so I'd be like, yeah, I got the checklist. As you can tell, I have a bit of a problem with limited run games in terms of loving them too much. Dragon Fantasy. One Way Heroics. Thomas Was Alone. Shantae. Pirate's Curse. Whoop. Pirate's Curse. Stealth Inc. Volume. Stranger's Wrath. Lone Survivor. Oh, it must have been in the order I actually did go. Firewatch. Don't know why that one blocked me out. That's a really cool postcard, by the way. Curses and Chaos. Aqua Kitty. Oxenfree. Ollie Ollie. Swapper. The Swindle. Postcard number 1 for Dear Esther, and then just because Josh fucking hates me, a second variant of the Dear Esther postcard that we only found out existed after the orders went up. God, that made me so bad. I was like, I'm gonna have to buy a $10 postcard off eBay, aren't I? Runner 2. It's a cool postcard, at least. Noble 111. Pang's Adventure. Alright, what game was I forgetting? Darius Burst. We're getting close, so I'm gonna make me mad. Game I can never pronounce. Ray Gigant. Asterbreed. What one was I? Now I'm thinking I'm like lost my mind. Drive! Oh! I knew I'd forget it. It's like, what fucking game was I not remembering? Super Challenge. Risk of Rain. I'm just getting delirious at this point. Flint Hook. Really cool postcard. Broken Age. Love the border. Fury. No sticker on Fury. Demo. Love this one. Bard's Gold. No sticker. The Bunker. No sticker. And Rive. No sticker. So that is all the postcards and stickers. After that, Josh and Doug were so sick of people asking, oh, I got this wrong sticker, or I got this wrong postcard, or blah, 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 blah. They said, hey, we'll do this. We'll make something even harder to collect, but it's still better, so you're going to love them anyways, because you're going to complain no matter what. And they decided to come out with the limited run trading cards. So we have a bunch of limited run trading cards, which I will now go through as quickly as humanly possible for you. So, we have Darius Burst. By the way, I do not have all of them. These are very hard to collect by comparison, because you get one per card, and sometimes there are, I think the smallest number of cards for a set is like 2, and then the most, well actually no, there's some that just have 1, and then there are some cards that have like 5 or 6. So we have Darius Burst, Fury, Bard's Gold, Bunker, Lily, Rive, Plague Road, Oceanhorn, Drive, Lawbreakers, N++, Narrow Voider, Wonder Boy, oh actually that one was Lawbreakers. I was looking through the other side. SteamWorld Heist, Flame in the Flood, As Divine Hearts, Claire, La Milana, Nex Machina, Skyforce. All three of these are 2064. Jotun. Ease. The Bit Trip is on the other side. This one is Cladarius, whatever, Chlamydius. River City, Skullgirls, Bit Trip, Chariot. Whoop, nothing on this one. That one was actually Chariot, so I'm lying to you. Windjammers and Chrysler Sigma. This only holds 80 cards. There are way more than 80 cards, so I ordered more binders, which should be coming on Monday with my Munches order. So in the meantime, I just stuck them in a giant Yu-Gi-Oh card binder that holds Persona 4 Weiss Schwarz cards, because if that makes sense. And we're going to do this to show off some of the other little weirder things. All of these Wonder Boy Collector's Edition cards. There was 10, so I awkwardly had to throw it there. Really cool cards. I just opened these recently. The Lawbreakers Collector's Edition cards are easily the nicest cards limited run games have ever put out. There are 20 cards each. 10 for Law, 10 for Breakers. And they are super nice, super foily, super embossed. Just, we don't deserve them. That's the moral of the story. Really great. Alright, these are my miscellaneous, we don't have them in order yet, cards, because we need limited run binders for that. Skyforce. Don't worry, I don't have that many more cards. All of these, Mechotales, Windjammers, Rockboshers, another Windjammers. I was not kidding you when I said there's a lot of some of these cards. These 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... is Super Gun World 2, Breach and Clear Deadline, Breach and Clear 1, Screen Sheet, Double Dragon 4, and last but not least, we have Chrysler Sigma, Ease Origin, Night Trap, Crawl, Absolute Drift, Saturday Morning RPG, Next Machina, a really super ultra oh my fucking god rare Rabby Ribby that I got somehow, very luckily. And then, card number 100 for the limited run games boys. Shipped by the boys who signed this. All their names on there. It's card number 100. These are the two only ultra rare cards in existence right now. I don't know why this one's actually an ultra rare, but just the design, I guess. But yeah, really cool to have that one. That's all the cards. I'm really running out of my voice. We're almost done though. Oh my god, it's going to be a long video to upload. I'm not going to open these up, but I will show you that I have all the Collection Edition boxes, because that's all that's left. Collection Edition box. Slides. Really cool. Comes with the Frisbee. Hot pink. I got the hot pink one twice. I don't know how I actually got that lucky. Second one. PS4, PS Vita. Needed the different covers. Ease Origin. Really, really cool. Gorgeous box. Some people are very salty about it. I got the PS4 version. I got the PS Vita version. Comes with a poster and art book. Whoop. Next Machina. Exclusive cover, embossed on here. Looks really, really nice. Show you all the different sides that matter. That's kind of actually it. But yes, comes with soundtrack, art prints, and poster. On CD, I should say. Next Machina was the game I just showed you. This is La Mulana. Oh my god, this is so embossed. I love just touching this. It is so cool. Very shiny. You can see them praying on there. Comes with the 4-disc soundtrack, instruction manual that does not fit the Vita. It's just like the one that's the size of the Vita screen, like this big. It's hilariously, obnoxiously large, but what else did it come with? And a poster. This was a really cool collection edition. They did a really good job on it. Next up, we have the first PC limited run games release, The Silver Case, an adventure game by Suda51. By the way, if anyone from Limited Run Games is watching this, I didn't forget about this. Limited Run PC number 1. I'd love for there to be a second one. And notable things about this. Comes the manga and printed sticker. Comes with the game on an actual CD that Josh worked way too hard to actually get working. The Night Trap super long collection edition box. Comes with a CD, patch, and extra long poster of the game. Super cool attention to detail. It is just really, really nice. Love that special edition. Oh, this is actually a heavy one. And really cool and embossed. Lawbreakers Collector's Edition on PS4. Came with all those cards like I mentioned, a journal, and I'm sure, the postcard and sticker. I think I'm bringing some other stuff as well, but the game and the stickers are the real notable ones. Next up, Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap came with those collectible cards, the game, the double soundtrack, and a poster. Cool art made just for this release. The Master System grid shape. Gotta love it. Next up, we have another copy of Night Trap. This is the PC version, to kind of in the original PC big box style. Why it is not limited run PC release number 2, I don't know. We'll just make fun of Josh forever. Inside here, getting it out would be a huge deal, is the limited run documentary Blu-ray for Night Trap by the My Life in Gaming guys. So that is in here. Really, really cool. 3 left. Our first big boy box edition. We have Darius Burst CS. This came with 2 Silverhawk figures, CD, and I guess the game, actually. Yeah, that was it. This one was mainly just controversial due to price, but is a really, really nice box. Oh yeah, and it's all numbered right there. And finally, in terms of ones I have not shown you, we have River City Melee, full price tag, and Double Dragon 4 NES Classic Editions. These are individually numbered. You can see right there. Styled as close as humanly possible to look like an NES box in terms of the shape, size, and whatnot. I think it's either a little wide or a little thicker than a normal NES game. And even came with a CD, poster, and a sleeve for the PS4 disc, which was really, really cool. And that's my Limited Run Games collection. If you watch this whole video, thank you. If you work at Limited Run Games, number 1, please hire me. Also, thank you for all the awesome work you guys do. I support you as much as I humanly can. If there's anything I can ever own, I want it, because I don't like to have it as like, oh cool, I have this collection. I genuinely like supporting what you guys do. Keeping an archive is very fun for me to do. It's not only a hobby, it's led to me meeting a lot of great people who either work in the industry, work with helping Limited Run make things happen, or even have me help make Limited Run get games out there like Ray Guy Gant. But yeah, if you watch this video, thank you so much. I'm really hot, if you can't tell. My room is super, super hot for some reason tonight, and I am super, super dry in terms of my throat. But yes, thank you for watching again. Please feel free to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Torchwood4SP. You can also check out Limited Run. Their Twitter is just at Limited Run Games, or their website, limitedrungames.com. Yes, that was it. And yeah, just thank you. If you have a collection or any questions about Limited Run Games, I am like a walking encyclopedia and can answer pretty much any Limited Run Games question of all time. Yeah, just because I have no life. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, or at least enjoyed watching me trying to make this entertaining for the past hour. But yeah, have a good one, guys.